police are searching for a motive. And so if they're searching for a motive, then they cannot tell the public accurately why that person got shot. But it's pretty safe to assume that far too many people in this town are resolving their disagreements with gun violence. That is probably the case more often than it is not. Or it depends on where you are in the country. If you knock on somebody's door or you ring the wrong doorbell, they'll shoot you. And I'm not just talking about Ralph Yarl. And here's what's interesting about that phenomenon. Almost at the exact same time, listen, a white woman with white people in the car in a white town pulls in the wrong driveway, didn't even get out of the vehicle, didn't even go up to the door. The owner of the home, also another white fella, shoots through his window and shoots this woman in her car, kills her. And this is white people doing this stuff. So people are not only resolving their arguments and disagreements with gunfire, people are so incredibly paranoid and protective of their property that if somebody knocks on their door or rings the doorbell even by mistake, or if somebody pulls in the wrong driveway, you can get shot. See, this is another unintended consequence of having access to firearms just be so easy. Somebody had posted something in the Facebook group yesterday. Where are these kids getting these guns from? I think someone is bringing them to the community. Maybe. But they have money to buy them. You ever see a kid with a $150 pair of jeans on? You ever see that? They even buy belts. Did y'all know this? That a belt can cost $500? How are you going to, somebody explain this to me. Am I just getting old and getting senile? How you going to buy a belt for $500 and the belt don't even hold your damn pants up? They buy a belt. They're very expensive belts. And a belt, I thought, was to keep your britches up. Because if you don't wear a belt, your britches fall down. Everybody can see your underpants, okay? So if I'm going to spend $500 on a belt, I'm going to pull my pants up so high and I'm going to use that $500 belt to keep my pants very secure. If they have money for that, not to mention the tennis shoes, I'll pay a fair amount of money for very nice dress shoes. Because dress shoes will last you a very long time. My feet are done growing. You get a nice pair of dress shoes. You take real good care of them. Keep them clean. Keep them polished. You store them correctly. They last you for a very long time. So spending a couple $100s on some really nice dress shoes is certainly an investment, okay? Spending $200 on some tennis shoes that you're going to replace in 6 months is insane. So if people have that kind of money for the tennis shoes and the jeans and the guns, they can get a firearm. All they need is for somebody to go to a gun show. Or they still can do straw purchases, which I've witnessed, and it bothered me. You ever been to Cabela's? Cabela's is like a Walmart for outdoor sporting goods and those kinds of things. They got the camping equipment, and they got all the things. They got outdoor attire and jackets and camouflage and blaze orange. They have all the things. Cabela's even has 2 levels. It's very large. It's in Richfield. And on the second level, they have a whole restaurant and a cafe. You can buy knickknacks and trinkets and souvenirs at Cabela's. So I went to, they have a very large gun section at Cabela's. It's really, really large. It's an entire wall of the first floor. The entire, I guess that'd be the northern wall of Cabela's in Richfield is all firearms. So they have guns mounted on the wall. They have a glass case, and then they have rifles that are just out on display where you can just pick it up and handle it. You see, they have got such an inventory of firearms. So I was at Cabela's with a friend. He was buying a pistol, and we saw, and it couldn't have been more obvious. It was 2 African-American men. One was wearing like some khakis and a polo, like he had like a customer service job. Right? He was dressed, he looked decent, dressed somewhat professionally, business casual, I reckon. Then he was with another dude wearing a puffy jacket, pants was sagging, and he very much smelled like marijuana. And they're at Cabela's, and they're looking at guns. And the person who was wearing the business casual attire, like the polo and the khakis, he was asking to see all of these different firearms, and I could tell he didn't even know what he was talking about. He could not even ask for the firearm that he wanted to see by name or by caliber. I know that was a straw purchase, and I wanted to say something, but what do you say? That would have been the time to say something because the person who probably would have been the straw buyer was not armed, so I probably could have said something to him. It was so obvious. Whenever you go into a gun store, if you do, maybe you don't, please be sober because that's annoying. I mean, I smell weed everywhere, but I don't want to smell somebody who just smoked a blunt shopping for firearms. It reeks of more than marijuana. It reeks of tremendous irresponsibility. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Never miss a moment of that action on The Tory Lowe Show on the new 1017 The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming on Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcast, and Apple Podcast.
Truth Nation, just press play. Your favorite award-winning 1017 The Truth shows are now streaming live on video. Watch us live on 1017 The Truth's Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and of course, 1017thetruth.com. Just press play for the home of Milwaukee Black Talk. 1017 The Truth.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
All Brewers games are on sale now, including a marquee weekend matchup versus the Red Sox April 21st through the 23rd. Get the one-of-a-kind Yelly Tumbler Gate giveaway on Saturday, presented by American Family Insurance. And treat your crew to Brewers Family Fun on Sunday with special activities for kids, including Brewers player autographs and a chance to run the bases. Get your seats now at Brewers.com.
Carrie, where's Tory Lowe and Dr. Ken at? I'm trying to knock these commercials out.
How am I supposed to know, Sherwin?
Well, I'm about to do their parts because my impressions are on point anyway. This is Dr. Ken Harris from Truth in the Afternoon, and I want you to download the Truth app in the Google Play Store and Apple Store so you can never miss my show or any of the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Really, Kyle?
Sherwin, you are crazy.
Sherwin, your impression of me is horrible. Move. Give me my mic. I guess I'll just repeat what Sherwin said. Go to the Google Play Store or Apple Store to download the 1017 The Truth app today so you can take the home of Milwaukee Black Talk with you wherever you are.
Can't listen live? Download the new 1017 The Truth app on your smartphone today to catch up on all your favorite shows. Search 1017 The Truth on your Google Play Store or Apple App Store so you don't miss out on any of the action. More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Dreams of you are so fine, baby. Since I woke up, so is my state of mind. Ooh, since we've been apart.
Welcome back. My favorite Marvin Gaye songs. Very underrated. It's called Music. Mike from Mill Road says, me personally, I always felt that Mercedes was a girl car, BMW is a man's car. You know, I had my stereotypes that I went over about people that drive different vehicles and men that drive BMWs. This is my opinion, too. You got an opinion, I got an opinion. I ain't never seen a woman driving an S-Class, period. Never seen a woman driving a Maybach either. So now I don't want to stereotype car buyers because everybody has their reasons for buying certain vehicles. Maybe it was the features. Maybe it was the price. You have some people that purchased a vehicle that wasn't their first choice, but it was a good deal and the price was right. But men that drive BMWs, especially men that drive a 3 Series BMW, and I must admit, I have been in love with the M3 BMW since like, what was that first M3? Like that one that had the big spoiler on, like a 90 or 91. Oh man, I love those. And then they redesigned them probably around 93-ish, 94. Yeah, M3 is a nice vehicle. A buddy of mine actually had an M3 convertible. But typically men who drive BMWs fall into one of two categories. Massengill or Summer's Eve. One or the other. You pick. 414208 says, Brother Sherwin, cars are investments. I have collector cars, and they just sit and make money every year. I have one that's worth $60,000 right now, and I paid less than a third of that, among others. Now, if you buy vehicles that are sought after, that are rare, well, of course. But go buy a new Honda Civic today or tomorrow. Go buy a Chevrolet Malibu or something else. Buy it and then try to sell it for what you paid for it. You can't. Cars depreciate. Unless it's a vehicle that has already been fully depreciated and is starting to increase in value. So during the pandemic, collector cars skyrocketed in value. I think a bunch of rich people got super bored and they decided they wanted to collect cars. So the collector car market really exploded. So I watched this auction called Barrett Jackson. It's some total 1%er stuff. I mean, I watch it. I don't actually attend. It is where people who have the finest examples of collector automobiles from any year, any era, any style, any automaker, they get together and they transport their vehicles to the Barrett Jackson car auction. You want to see rich people? I mean, we're talking about people that bid upwards of $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 for a 1963 Shelby Cobra. Oh, it's something else. But during the pandemic, collector car values just went through the roof. They are now starting to come back down. So here's what I would say to you, 414-208. Depends on what vehicle you have. Sell it. Start liquidating because the prices are going to go back down. Nay says, nah, brother, you're not senile. I'll be like, why even wear a belt, brother? You know what I mean? These guys that pay these hundreds of dollars for the belt, and I get it, it's a fashion statement. But I talked about that in the context of if somebody will pay that much money for a belt, they also will have money to buy a firearm. Guns are really super easy to get. And I'd imagine people who question how someone can get a firearm has never attempted to buy one. Drugs are easy to get too. You probably can get your drugs and your guns from the same person. Or the person who has the guns knows the person that has the drugs. Not so much marijuana, because you can just go to Illinois and buy that in a store. Kind of want to tell you guys a story about marijuana, but I'm afraid. How do I talk about this and not have you think it's me? What? Okay. So there are states where recreational marijuana is legal, right? There are. I'm not going to tell you which states because you can look it up. You all have the internet. And what if, I want to ask you all a question. What if you went to a state where marijuana is legal and someone bought some? So a person who's from an illegal state or a non-recreational use state goes to a recreational use state and they go to a dispensary. They buy some, doesn't even have to be flower marijuana. It can be like edibles, or they got all sorts of things, soda pops and candies and cookies and brownies, all sorts of things. And let's say this person who is from a state where marijuana is illegal goes to a state where marijuana is legal and they buy marijuana things. And then they have a flight to catch. Can you put the marijuana things that you purchased in the recreational state in your luggage, carry on or checked, and then fly to a state where marijuana is illegal? Like what laws are you breaking? So in states where marijuana is recreationally legal, even medically legal, the dogs that you see in airports, and every time I see a dog that's working with law enforcement, I think that that's a drug sniffing dog. Well, here's what I come to find out. In states where marijuana is legal recreationally, where you see dogs working on duty with law enforcement, they're not sniffing for drugs. They're sniffing for explosives. You can walk past one of those dogs with marijuana falling out your pockets, and the dog will just be like, "Arr!" And it won't even do nothing to it. They're looking for explosives. And as I come to understand it, TSA is looking for things that can take down an airplane, things that can be a danger to the crew, to the pilot. They're looking for explosives. They're looking for flammable things. Drugs, not so much. So here's my question, and some of you probably know from experience, if you go to a state where marijuana is legal recreationally and you purchase it legally and you put it in your suitcase, your carry-on bag, or your checked luggage, and you fly to a state that does not have legal marijuana, what, do they bust you on the way back? How do they even know? Now, I'm not suggesting anybody do this. I'm just very curious. If anybody knows what you do. All right, LT says 2 cheerleaders got shot yesterday because they got in the wrong car. Where was that, LT? And then LT sends a picture of ham, pineapple, and banana pizza, which is disgusting. I've had pineapple on pizza before. It's okay. It's not. Would I order a pineapple pizza? I would not. If somebody had pizza that had pineapple on it, okay, I'll have a bite of it, but I don't. But this actually looks disgusting. Ham, pineapple, and banana. Why would you put banana on a pizza? All right, that's disgusting. An 84-year-old man surrendered to law enforcement following the shooting of a Kansas City teen, Ralph Yarl. The Clay County Sheriff's Office confirmed to Fox 4 News that Andrew Luster surrendered at the Clay County Detention Center on Tuesday afternoon. By Tuesday afternoon, he has posted his $200,000 bond at 10% and was released from custody. Under the conditions of his release, he is not allowed to possess weapons of any type or have any contact with Yarl or his family. Lester has been charged with first-degree assault and armed criminal action in the shooting of the 16-year-old. Kansas City police say that on April 13, Yarl intended to pick up his younger brothers at a home on Northeast 115th Terrace, but he mistakenly went to a house on Northeast 115th Street. When he arrived at the home, rang the doorbell, Lester shot Yarl, court documents say. Records say Lester shot the teen twice, once on the top of his left eye and a second time in his upper right arm. Yarl's mother, Cleo Nagabe, said one of the bullets remained in Ralph's temple for 12 hours before it could be removed. Court documents say Lester fired through a glass door and Yarl did not enter the home. According to court documents, Yarl said Lester told him, "Don't come around here," following the shooting. As the prosecutor of Clay County, I can tell you there were some racial components, Clay County prosecutor Zachary Thompson said on Monday. The prosecutor said Lester used a .32 revolver, but he did not have any information if the gun was registered or not. So that's a small caliber, especially to be shooting through glass. So I can understand why Yarl did not sustain fatal injuries. I told you guys this some time ago. This was probably, we were still at Radio City, so it was at least, well, what year is this? 23. When did we move over here? Last year? I think it was in 2021. So I'm at home chilling, like I do. And then my motion detectors started going off, and then all my exterior lights lit up. And at the same, so I get notifications on my phone, and where I look out the window, my whole side of my house is all lit up. And I hear really, really loud music. Like somebody has their stereo turned up really, really loud. And I looked outside and I saw a vehicle just past the apron of my driveway. So just at the end of my driveway. And I see 2 teenage boys get out of this vehicle. And the vehicle's parked and the music is loud. So it's obviously they're calling attention to themselves. And they get out of the vehicle, not at all deterred by my motion lights. And they walk up my driveway. And okay, so now I'm going into action mode because I don't know what they're doing. And so I literally am watching them through my dining room windows walking up my driveway. So my garage, you have to go up my driveway, and then it's L-shaped. So then you have to turn a corner, and that's where my driveway sits. So you can't even see my driveway from the street. So they're walking up my driveway, just chilling nonchalantly. They're not looking over their shoulders. In fact, had they looked to their right, they would have seen me staring at them through my dining room windows, but they were not bothered, nor were they deterred. And I'm like, well, there's some boldness that these two boys have. So you know what I did? I loaded up because I don't know what they were trying to do. And I wasn't going to take no chances. And what I realized is, so I got, I went overboard. So I got the shotgun just because, you know, sometimes I have to go and get Rebecca and just bring her out of the closet every now and again. So I brought out Rebecca. And then I have my pistol in the pocket of my basketball shorts. I mean, I looked ridiculous, I'm sure. But again, I didn't know what the hell these boys was going to do. I didn't know what they was coming for. I didn't know them. I looked at my cell phone. Didn't nobody text me and say, hey, Sherwin, we coming over. I didn't get none of that. So here's what I think they did. They walked up my driveway and probably, because I couldn't, once they get to my garage, I can't see them when I'm in the house. So I'm assuming they walked up to my garage. I always keep my garage closed and locked, as you should too. It drives the Milwaukee Police Department crazy when y'all report thefts from your garage and your garage is unlocked. The cops hate that. Okay, so lock your damn garages. They realized that my garage was locked because they probably were looking to steal a car. You got to keep in mind, the vehicle that dropped them off is still at the end of my driveway with the windows down and the music absolutely blaring. And I'm saying to myself, these kids are stupid. It's just a matter of time before they get caught or worse. And so in a similar situation to what happened here with Ralph Yarl, I am very much armed watching two people walk up my driveway. Now, here's the thing. I had to constantly tell myself they were no threat to me. I had no right to draw a firearm, even though I felt violated and they trespassed a little bit. I knew that I couldn't do anything, but here's what went through my head. Well, I wanted to talk to them. I wanted to ask them what the hell they were doing, or to tell them, you know, not to come back. So as they're walking back down my driveway, now remember, these boys are not a threat to me. But here's what I could have done, and I talked myself out of it. I could have come out of my front door, and as they're coming down my driveway, I would have met them in my front yard. Now, here's what I got to think about. Now, I'm very much armed, okay? I could have instigated the threat because they could have been armed too. But because I was in my house, they didn't attempt to break into my house. To the best of my knowledge, they were unable to get into my garage. Had I gone outside and confronted them, and they would have drawn a firearm on me, well, yes, I guess now they could be considered a threat. But again, I could see a prosecutor saying, Sherwin, you should have stayed in the house. Had you stayed in the house, none of this would have happened. We're going to give you a manslaughter charge. I thought about that. I couldn't sleep that night. And I came on the radio the next day and I told you all about it. And so how I started my radio show was because I was very angry. I was like, I almost shot two of your kids last night. Because had I just decided to walk out of my front door, which is my right to do, and guess what? I can also walk around my front yard very much armed. That is entirely legal. But I could have instigated and escalated an event where I would have created a threat where there was none. And so cooler heads sometimes need to prevail, because I was just so damn offended that they would be so bold to have the music blaring. They got dropped off to steal a car. It was two of them. They lived another day, but who knows what happens to them next time. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
It's time to see what's poppin' with Melanie Ricks.
What's up, everybody? It's Melanie Ricks, and it's time to see what's poppin' with today's Pop Culture Report. I'm going to tell you this much. Nick Cannon, a.k.a. Nick, your favorite baby daddy Cannon, is trying to pop another one out, number 13 to be exact, but this time he's got a certain leading lady on the mind to have his next baby with, Taylor Swift. Yeah, you heard that right. Nick Cannon says that he is open to having baby number 13 with pop star Taylor Swift. Now, it is widely known that Nick Cannon has a certain talent for breeding. Taylor Swift has a certain talent for making hit music. So why not put those talents together and pop out another baby? No, all jokes aside, Nick Cannon does have 12 kids already, but he was asked by Howard Stern if he wants to have any more. And he said he's currently happy with the dozen that he's got. However, Stern even asked, so if Taylor Swift wants to have a baby with you, would you? And Nick said, absolutely, I'm in, let's go. That's the one, I am all in. So stay tuned, folks. You just might hear about baby Cannon Swift coming soon. Talking about things coming soon, can you believe that Stranger Things star Millie Bobby Brown is already 19? Well, that's one thing that's crazy. But another, this 19-year-old celebrity is engaged to her 20-year-old boyfriend. Now, her boyfriend just happens to be Jake Bon Jovi, the son of legend John Bon Jovi. Millie Bobby Brown took to social media to announce the engagement, and oh my goodness, these people were up in arms. They can hardly believe that a 19 and 20-year-old are willing to commit to a lifetime together. But listen, I've seen Stranger Things, and when you know, you know. Get it? Stranger Things. And that's what's poppin', Milwaukee.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, spring has sprung, and we're doing some spring cleaning. We've created a brand new Instagram page that we would love for you to follow to stay updated on all things truth. We'll be posting exclusive content, behind-the-scenes footage of our team, along with different things going on in the community, so you can stay informed. We're taking out the old and bringing in the new for a fresh start, and we want to bring you with us to this new beginning. So follow us on the gram at 101.7 The Truth today. That's 101.7 The Truth on the Instagrams. And after more than 60 years of entertaining people across the world, the R&B Soul Kings, the OJs, are doing their final tour, and we have a chance for you to win a pair of tickets to see them live. Tune in to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris all week, as he'll be giving away a pair of tickets to see the OJs perform at the Riverside Theater on Sunday, May 14th. This is a must-see concert. Get your tickets today by visiting PabstTheaterGroup.com or by listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris this week for your chance to win a pair of free tickets. And tune in to the award-winning 1017 The Truth this Saturday at 10 a.m. for another episode of Greater Milwaukee Urban League's Entrepreneurship Connections show, and that's powered by Molson Coors. Dr. Ken will be joined by local entrepreneurs and community organizations to discuss the importance of advocating for black businesses and grants that are available exclusively for black-owned businesses. Again, that's the Greater Milwaukee Urban League's Entrepreneurship Connections show, powered by Molson Coors, this Saturday at 10 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. All right, let's see what we got here. I got this Caitlin Gillis story. And yeah, I'm seeing it on my monitors here in the studio that 2 teenage girls were shot for getting in the wrong cars. We live in a society where you clearly can't make mistakes. So if you make a mistake, you go to the wrong house and get shot. This story right here, Caitlin Gillis, she's dead. She pulled into the wrong driveway and she got shot. A 20-year-old woman was shot and killed by a homeowner in upstate New York on Saturday after the car she was in accidentally went to the wrong address, local authorities said on Monday. Caitlin Gillis and 3 of her friends were trying to find another friend's house in rural Hebron, New York, when they mistakenly pulled up to the house owned by Kevin Monahan, according to Sheriff Jeffrey J. Murphy. They quickly realized their mistake and were turning the car around when Monahan stepped on his porch and fired 2 shots, one of which struck Gillis. Short on cell phone signal, her friends drove 5 miles to the town of Salem to call 911. Emergency responders performed CPR on Gillis, but she was pronounced dead on the scene. Monahan has been charged with murder in the 2nd degree and remains in custody at Warren County Jail, the sheriff said. It's unclear whether he's retained an attorney. He was initially uncooperative with investigators for refusing for several hours to exit his residence or to answer questions, the sheriff said. Hell, that sounds like a standoff to me. Murphy summed up the case as very sad, an incident involving a young woman. Do we not know how to identify a threat? I mean, I read this story. I was going to talk about it yesterday, but the show got away from me yesterday. We was talking about other stuff. If somebody pulls into your driveway and then they pull out of your driveway and you come outside and shoot them. So living where I live, people pull in my driveway all the time just to turn around. Like you're not supposed to do it, but I mean, I don't care about that. Could you imagine? And those of us that live in the city, we know that if somebody is going the wrong direction, they got to turn around. You know, you can't do a U-turn on these narrow Milwaukee streets, especially when vehicles are parked on both sides of the street. So you pull up into somebody's driveway, just at the little end of the driveway right there, the apron part. You pull up, you put your vehicle in reverse, you turn your wheels, boom, you go the other direction. They did that at this man's house, and he shot this girl and killed her. And I'd like to think of these as isolated incidents, but there's just a few too many of these incidents that are happening all of a sudden. Ralph Yarl, got this here on my TV here, on my monitor in the studio. 2 teenage girls were shot for getting into the wrong vehicle. So we don't even allow people to make mistakes. We just shoot them. Apparently that's the new normal in this damn country. I see why the rest of the world looks at us the way that they do. I mean, they look at America, wait a minute, they elected Donald Trump and now they shoot everybody. I don't understand why they shoot everybody. All we do over here is we eat and we have sex. We only have 4-hour work days over here in our country, but then America, they shoot. They still have sex, but they shoot each other very quickly. You go to the wrong house. You know what happens in my country? If somebody goes to the wrong house, I invite them in for the dinner and sex. Sir Chauncey says, Elgin, Texas, location of where those 2 cheerleaders got shot. I'm going to pull that story up. Mark says, good call. Rule number 1, you pull it, you used it. Good check system to establish. The worst thing that I could ever do, or a nightmare situation for me, is where I would have to defend myself with force and harm somebody else. I don't want to be in that situation. I think too many people idealize that situation. Well, if somebody comes up to me and I'm armed, I'm going to shoot him. You're not prepared for that. You are not prepared to use a firearm, especially at close range, to shoot another human being. Y'all have watched too many damn movies. Have you ever seen somebody have an anxiety attack after they just shot somebody? And I've seen cops. See, they don't often show this. That's the part of the body camera footage that is oftentimes edited, that these cops are having anxiety attacks, panic attacks, they're hyperventilating because the gravity of shooting somebody, and they train for this. Y'all ain't trained to shoot nobody. None of us are prepared for that. Because you're going to live with it for the rest of your life. I mean, imagine shooting somebody, and yes, they're trying to harm you, and you shoot them, and now they're begging you to save them, and you watch somebody die. We're not ready for that. So for me, it's a nightmare, and I try and avoid it at all costs. If there is a place where I think I'm going to be under some kind of physical threat, even if it's ridiculous, right, for me to think that, I don't go. I do not go. When I conceal carry, and if you saw me anywhere, save for an airport between the years of 2013, really the end of 2012, but between 2013 and 2018, if you saw me anywhere, literally anywhere, in traffic, at a park, at an event, I had a firearm on me. Every single day for 5 years, I carried a firearm. You know what I realized? Never needed it. Never once, never even came close. But there were situations where I felt emboldened to step into where I saw trouble afoot. I was like, well, if I walk over here, I can clearly solve this problem. Or you psychologically escalate what could just be a simple disagreement. And maybe words get exchanged, but you know if you have that thing on you, you can end this argument immediately. I didn't like the way it made me feel. It emboldens you like unnecessarily and arbitrarily. You feel more bold. I didn't like that damn feeling. But I realized in half a decade of carrying a firearm, I never needed it. There wasn't even a situation where in the defense of myself or someone else, I even had to draw it. And I'm thinking to myself, why? There's no point. And it's a burden because you got to worry about this thing called printing. And for those of you that carry concealed, you know about printing. So ladies, this doesn't necessarily apply to you if you carry your firearm in your purse. But depending upon the firearm that you have, if you just put it in your pocket, because people have pocket pistols, like 380s. I know Beretta makes one. Taurus makes one. The Glock 17 is kind of a pocket pistol. You put it in your pocket. Depending on what you're wearing, people can see the damn outline of the gun in your pocket. That means you're not carrying concealed anymore. If people can see your firearm, then you're not carrying concealed. And there's a whole bunch of folks that walk around and they print. So if you look at their pants, you can see they got a damn gun in their pocket. That defeats the purpose of concealed carry. The other thing that I noticed a lot of, and I just wish y'all wouldn't have done this, is when we had concealed carry signed into law by Scott Walker, it must have been in 2011. And all y'all was going to the African American Women's Center to take that little concealed carry class, which teaches you nothing about how to identify a threat. It doesn't teach you anything about that. It basically was 4 hours of here's what you do after you shoot somebody. It wasn't like deterring. It wasn't, saying in certain situations you shouldn't pull your firearm. And I was like, no. We went into the class with the instructor assuming we were going to shoot somebody, and now we need to figure out what do we do next. That's basically what the damn class was. So this is the part that drove me nuts. So a bunch of y'all, women in particular, you get your concealed carry permit. You take that nonsensical 4-hour class. You pay $50 measly. You send in whatever little documents you got to send in, and they send you this little plastic card with some numbers on it, your birth date, the start date of the concealed carry permit license, then when it expires. Okay, so what did y'all do? Took pictures of your guns. Okay, put them on Facebook. Dummies. Yeah, I got my concealed carry. So number one, you just wasted your time because you're no longer carrying concealed. That's number one. Number two, you're a target, meaning that if I see this person, okay, and they posted the fact that they have a, quote, concealed carry, and they post a picture of their damn firearm on the internet, chances are they're going to have their firearm in their car at some point. I'm breaking into your car and stealing your gun, dummy, because now I know you have it. Or I could just grab it from you because most people aren't even prepared to defend somebody from taking their gun away from them. But the other thing you did is you're now on law enforcement's radar. Whenever you post a picture of a firearm anywhere in this country, Facebook and all other social media companies turn that information over willingly to law enforcement. It's the stupidest thing I've seen people do. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on the new 101.7 FM will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune in to the new 101.7 The Truth Community Spotlight this Wednesday at 3:57 p.m. between The Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. We will be speaking with Maurice Turner, Instructional Leadership Director for Milwaukee Public Schools, and he will discuss their Our Lights Are On Community Open House and Job Fair, which takes place this Wednesday from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at Andrew Douglas Middle School. Again, that is the Community Spotlight with Milwaukee Public Schools this Wednesday at 3:57 p.m. on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Your first time biking to work. Your new helmet? Secure. Your bike? Road ready. You got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So even if down the road that bike needs a little maintenance, at least your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
April is Financial Literacy Month, and according to the FINRA, 60% of Wisconsin residents can't answer basic financial literacy questions, and over half are living paycheck to paycheck. Secure Futures is here to change this by equipping teens with transformative money management skills to help teens reach their financial goals and keep their families and communities economically secure. Join Secure Futures and change a teen's life today as a volunteer or supporter. For more information or to learn how to get involved, visit securefutures.org.
New season, new ball game. All Brewers games are on sale now. Grab your seats for the rivalries, giveaways, and all the excitement on tap for 2023. Don't miss this season's Brewers action, including new rules, new opponents, new faces, and brand new ways to enjoy the game, including the Sunday Funday bundle for just $59, plus the 414 value menu. Check out the complete schedule and get your seats today at brewers.com/tickets.
Dear hero, whoever you are, thank you for donating plasma. My body literally gave up on me. Receiving plasma treatments was, to me, hope. Now that I'm out of the wheelchair, I love going on walks, swimming. Those were some of the things I was told that I would never be able to do.
I have swells all up and down my arms or my legs, my hands. I could have an airway swell, and that's life-threatening. I haven't had any attacks in about 3 months since trying it. It's crazy because it was daily that I'd have these, and it's just gone.
Because of you, I can walk again.
Because of you, I feel amazing.
Giving equals living. Give plasma. Replenish the supply. Make an appointment to give today by visiting hhs.gov/giveplasma. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Does The Truth really have a LinkedIn page?
Yes, we're getting one, or we have one. So.
Really? Because I don't think that I don't really care for LinkedIn. Let me tell you why. Rhea, are you on LinkedIn?
I am, but don't look at it. It's not great.
It's garbage.
Mine's really bad.
So I play a disclaimer at the beginning of my show because I say things like I'm about to say. I need y'all to take that disclaimer seriously. It's like a legal ID. Like my sentiments, my commentary and the guests I may have in the show does not necessarily reflect that of the sentiment of the staff and management of Good Karma Brand. So I'm kind of operating independent of what the sentiment is here, very much on purpose. So let me say about LinkedIn. It's garbage. You know what LinkedIn is? It's a bunch of mediocre and lackluster professionals that are patting themselves on the back for minor things that they've done in their careers that only apply to them. Sorry. I know you don't like it, but LinkedIn is just, hi, everybody. Look, I got a job. It's not the one I really wanted, but I got hired. Look, give me likes. Hey, everybody, it's my anniversary of the job that I really don't want to be at anymore. I'm kind of promoted, but not really. I've been in middle management my entire life. Yay, LinkedIn. Let me tell you what LinkedIn is really used for. Y'all know I love me some Jason and Latasha Fields, right? Love them to death. Like family, like my brother and my sister. Absolutely. Dude met his wife on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a way in which you can review somebody's professional resume before you decide to get in their inbox and try to date them. That's what it is. I just got into an argument recently with somebody about LinkedIn. And I think legitimate business professional, LinkedIn, obviously it has a place, but if you're really about your business, like you need to actually be engaged in the real world. And if you want to market and promote yourself, do it the old fashioned way by advertising. Don't just think that social media can suffice for traditional ways of how people expand their business endeavors. But let me tell you about this. So if you're insecure about your professional business endeavors and you think that anyone taking any kind of an interest in whatever it is that you're doing is legitimate and they're really concerned about your businesses, they're not. They're probably flirting with you. And if somebody's a serious entrepreneur, especially a woman who's new at the craft or not very secure in her entrepreneurial endeavors, she may think that all of these men who are taking some kind of mediocre interest in her business endeavors really want to help her. Nah, they're just crafty. Men have to be more creative with how they try to sleep with women because you can't just hit on a woman. You can't do that anymore. You got to find another way. I'm actually saying this as a public service to women to think that all of these men really have a deep-seated interest. Now, some men do. They do. Some men don't. But y'all have to be more concerned about the men that do not have your professional interests at heart. They have something else in mind when they're reaching out to you. I just want you to be aware. Don't shoot the messenger. Gene said, is that your Transylvanian accent? First of all, my foreign accents are fantastic. In fact, I do a Giannis impression that's so good, I could fool his girlfriend. What her name is? Mariah Giannis. Mariah Giannis, come to Bo. I do a very good Giannis. No, I was just giving an example, Gene, of why these other countries laugh at us because somebody, pulls in our driveway here in America. We come out the house and we shoot them. Somebody knocks on the door, rings the doorbell because they're on 115th place and not 115th terrace. They get shot in the head. 2 cheerleaders just got shot because they got in the wrong damn car. They don't do this stuff in other countries. They don't do this in Africa. Wait a minute, you come to the wrong hut? Oh, no, come on in. No, you come. That's okay. That's why the Africans hate me. Like Kyle's in there doing an African dance. If you are in Africa and you mistakenly go to the wrong hut, they'll throw a party for you. Wait a minute, you come to my hut. This must be fate. Go and get the pig. Go and get all of the food. Go and get that chicken. We will have. Okay, I need you to know that this is why the Africans hate me.
Okay.
Sure, when I listen to you driving around in my cab, I hear you talk about the African. That's very disrespectful. Now I'm going to charge you double. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth. We're also on YouTube. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, the locations are set and it's time to clean up our city. Join me and the Truth team on Saturday, April 29th for our community cleanup. Go to truthcommunitycleanup.com to volunteer and help keep Milwaukee clean. Everyone who joins gets a Truth shirt, a bucket hat, and a free lunch. The Truth Community Cleanup is sponsored by St. Anne's Center, the best intergenerational care in Milwaukee.
Truth Nation, this is the effective communication coach, Denise Thomas.
And Emmy Award winner, Telly Hughes.
We are so excited to be your new host.
And we will continue to have real and authentic conversations while brightening your morning and giving you something to smile about.
So Milwaukee, join Telly and I every weekday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. for Truth Be Told on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Are you looking for an opportunity to better the Milwaukee community? Do you want to develop your skills for a career or job? City Year Milwaukee is recruiting for its 14th cohort of AmeriCorps members. We are hiring young adults ages 18 to 25 to serve our amazing scholars in Milwaukee Public Schools. This opportunity allows you to serve your community and gain professional development, which will allow you to enter the workforce, your next educational journey, or even stay with us for a second year of service. Visit cityyear.org to connect with our local recruiters and learn how to apply.
Hey, this is Steve Scafidi for Educators Credit Union. Being a parent can be busy. We all know that. Mind and Money from Educators Credit Union provides an easy way for parents to pay allowance, assign chores, and teach financial lessons all from their phones or computer with no monthly fees. Children and teens can even receive their own debit card, and parents can set limits and track spending. It's a win-win and just another great perk of being a member. Learn more at ECU.com, federally insured by NCUA.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 in the morning, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Truth Nation, stand up and tap in. This is 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 101.7 The Truth News Update.
Hi, everyone. I'm Melanie Ricks with your news update. Milwaukee's police chief says that the case of Bobby Lou Scheffling, a domestic violence victim who repeatedly tried to get help before she was killed last summer, will be examined thoroughly. Chief Jeffrey Norman sat down for an interview Tuesday afternoon, a week after the Journal Sentinel published an investigation into Scheffling's death that found police, probation agents, and prosecutors missed the full scope of an escalating series of domestic violence allegations in the final 10 months of her life. Scheffling's ex-boyfriend, who already had 2 open warrants and was under the supervision of the Department of the Corrections, was not arrested until July 27th of 2022, one day after she was found shot to death in her Milwaukee home. He was charged last month in her homicide. The case has drawn outrage from Mayor Cavalier Johnson and the Milwaukee Common Council. On Monday, all 15 council members sent a letter to Norman in the city's Fire and Police Commission demanding answers. Chief Norman said the department is undertaking an administrative review of Scheffling's contacts with Milwaukee officers in the months before her death. The review is being done by the Internal Affairs Division. In addition, Norman said that the Milwaukee Homicide Review Commission will lead what's known as a Sentinel review to examine gaps among the criminal justice system, including police, prosecutors, courts, the Department of Corrections, and others. In a unanimous vote on Tuesday, the Milwaukee Common Council called on Ascension, Wisconsin to reopen the now closed labor and delivery unit at Ascension St. Francis Hospital in Milwaukee and to put a pause on any further cuts at Ascension hospitals in the city. The measure received resounding support from council members, all of whom signed onto it as sponsors or co-sponsors. Council members have signaled that the measure is only the first step in addressing concerns about cuts in services at Ascension hospitals in the city. The council resolution, which as of now is largely symbolic and does not force Ascension to do anything at this moment, will now go to Mayor Cavalier Johnson for his consideration. This was the news update on 101.7 The Truth. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes continues next here on the new 101.7 The Truth.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Good old Tory Lowe is going to join us at 11:30 to talk about the Tory Lowe Truth Community Cleanup. Looking forward to chatting with Tory. I haven't been in studio with Tory. Well, I guess it ain't been that long. Sometimes when he gets here a little early, I can't help myself when I see him in the producer studio. I sometimes invite him in. I think he was probably in here about a month or so ago. Hey, Tory Lowe. 1-4. 414-690 says, thank you for exercising restraint with those 2 guys who walked up your driveway. I enjoy the show a lot. Thank you very much, 414-690. But that was a real life situation where you got to make a very responsible decision, because I see the levels of irresponsibility everywhere. We expose so much about who we are and our character on social media. And I'm thinking to myself, as I read some of the stuff that y'all post, some of the things that you find significant that really aren't, and I think to myself, yeah, all of these people can own guns. Exercising this level of public irresponsibility, these same people can and probably do own firearms. And it's very, very troubling. I just see how irresponsible we act just in general. Some of our behaviors, how we act in public, how irresponsibly people drive. That is a really good indicator of your respect for strangers. Look, I don't know the people I'm on the road with. I know that there's a level of respect I have for those people. They're trying to go somewhere. I'm trying to go somewhere. And we are mediated by the rules of the road, understood rules of the road and laws, signs, signals, etc. So we have a level of respect for one another. I ain't got to like you to respect you. You ain't got to like me to respect me. But just know, hey, we're sharing the roadways together. Don't act a fool. Don't drive too crazy. Don't drive too fast. And please don't tailgate. I don't like that. I don't like a tailgate. If you're too close, if you're following me too close, like in an attempt to get me to speed up, well, we're going to have a problem. I also know that I can be somewhat, let's see here. Let me use the right word. Easily disturbed by people that drive poorly. I'm not going to say that I've got a propensity toward road rage, but let me tell you what happened one morning. There's a guy driving in like a little maintenance van, little van with ladders and stuff on the top of it. And I'm coming down Wisconsin Avenue. I'm going east on Wisconsin Avenue, coming here early in the morning. And this dude is on my tail. Now, when I look at my rearview mirror, and if I can't read your front license plate, you're too close. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to brake check you. And the first one is a warning. The next one I'm calling David Gruber. So, I mean, he's real close. Like, it looked like he was in my back seat. And this dude is driving a work truck. Now, I didn't have any markings on it, okay? So I gave him a little taste of the brakes. Bleep. Oh, he fell out. He panicked. Oh, he hit his brakes hard. He slammed on his brakes, right? So now he's way behind me. So I'm like, cool, let's just maintain this difference. Let me tell you what this fool did. So he instigated this by following me too close. I hate a tailgater. And maybe it's because I've been rear-ended before. And it's just an irresponsible thing to do, to follow too closely. You need to follow at least 2 seconds behind somebody, in inclement weather, make it 4 seconds just to be on the safe side, because you don't want to deal with the headache of having a car accident. So this fool is following me too close. So he instigates this. I give him a little brake check. He slows way down. Cool. I continue on. You know what this fool did? He accelerated, got in front of me. Now, we're on Wisconsin Avenue. In fact, we're on Wisconsin, right by the Capitol Grill. What is that? Wisconsin, about 4th Street? Wisconsin and Bell Phillips. This fool accelerates. Okay. Passes me. Gets in front of me now. Slams on his brakes to a complete stop, trying to get me to rear end him. I am so glad at that moment my pistol was at the crib. That is how angry I was. He tailgates me. I tap on my brakes. He backs up. He slows down. He then accelerates, gets in front of me, and we're stopped in Wisconsin Avenue. Do you know what kind of accident that could have caused? And so I'm very angry with him. And then we come to a stoplight, because I kept going. I wasn't even going to make my turn on the Michigan. I kept going. So me and him end up getting stopped at a stoplight right next to each other. And you can imagine the words that flew. And I'm also thinking to myself, he could own a gun. Like, this could have turned into a damn shootout. Luckily, it didn't. Wingy.
Yes, good morning, sir. You know, in my experience with something like that, you know, when a person is following too closely, which that is a ticket, you know that, right? Following too closely, unattended driving, all that's in the same deal. I usually just pull over, man, and let them go, because they probably in a real a real rush. So I usually just get out the way, and they look at me and I look at them, and now you look silly because you're probably going up into that next red light. So anyways, you know, I wanted to address something in one of your truth take moments. You talk about how paramedics might be allowing us to bleed out. Well, I'll tell you the truth behind a lot of those deaths, Sherwin. the thing is this right here. In all major cities, all across this country, we had trauma centers everywhere, okay? And we had trauma centers everywhere, at least 2 or 3 in each major city. Well, what they did is they eliminated the trauma centers. Now you got to go way to Freighter for any serious trauma. And a lot of times you announce dead on arrival out there because look at the distance where you have to go. And most of the time you wind up bleeding out. You know, so my push was to try and bring a trauma center to St. Joe's. We needed one there. There used to be one years and years ago at Sinai Samaritan. And at Sinai Samaritan.
That's the one on 12th Street.
Right. There used to be one there, trauma center. Boy, you get shot, they run you there. All of that's over with now. So by the time they get you out to the county hospital, in most cases, you done bled out. So my thing was when St. Joe's was trying to get away, and then they had a little vomit and everybody pushing to keep the hospital there, and the Jews were there pushing, but they didn't lay enough emphasis on a trauma center, because then you could treat gunshot wounds, knifing, badly beat victims right there in a trauma center. We don't have it all over the country, bro. And I believe that could be very well by design. Why would you move it? Same way with other things, in our community. They're designed. Okay, now who's designed? And guess what? I like to say white folk design them, but guess what? It's a lot of Negroes be in them rooms designing this stuff too. I used to think all mad scientists was white folk until I started seeing some black folk that was just as mad as them white folk. So I wanted to lay that on you because I heard your truth tape, and I don't think that they doing that. I honestly think the transport allows a person to bleed out, and they got that down to a science, especially if a person is hitting a main artery like you was talking about in the leg or something. I had a buddy that was got stabbed in the leg, and it was just a little skeet of blood. And right on second and center, he laid back on the porch. Everybody was kicking it, and he laid right there, man, and bled to death. Laid back, drunk a beer, and nobody thought it was nothing. A little poke right there in his leg. And guess what? He bled to death. So I just thought I would throw that in for kicks, man. Take it easy.
All right, you too. Appreciate your call. No, I don't doubt that trauma centers are closing all over the country, especially in urban areas. Well, obviously there could be, especially if, all right, you got to think about this. St. Joseph's, that neighborhood is still relatively mixed, maybe not so much income-wise, but racially it's kind of diverse. The St. Joseph's neighborhood is kind of diverse. But there are neighborhoods where we have hospitals that may have been like exclusively majority white. And then as time goes on, those neighborhoods and those hospitals will become majority black. The neighborhood becomes majority black or majority minority because white folks flee. And then who those hospitals serve become majority minority. The reason why St. Joseph's attempted to close, but they stayed open, because there was community outrage. So I need y'all to know something. When the census comes and y'all don't want the government to like spy on you or something, or you don't want the government to know how many people live in your house, but Facebook knows, but you just don't want the government to know. So do you remember when St. Joseph's had all those signs on their property, like yard signs, like, hey, fill out your census, everybody fill out your census? Doesn't really make a lot of sense to most people why a damn hospital would be encouraging members of the public to fill out your census. Well, for every person that is counted in the census is roughly $1,000 in federal resources, and some of those federal resources go to healthcare. St. Joseph's needs everyone to fill out the census because that is more money that we get for that hospital because of federal funding. Okay, so the more people we have in an area, the more federal funding we get. The other reason why a lot of hospitals are closing is because y'all don't have insurance. Hospitals want people that have insurance so they can get paid. Obama tried to tell you. Obama made it as easy as possible. Now, it wasn't easy in the damn beginning. Yes, I was on hold for 6 hours when I first had signed up for the Obamacare. But it's smooth now. Oh, it's like butter now if you use the healthcare.gov, the exchange. It's easy. Get you some health insurance. because hospitals like St. Joseph's that serves a majority minority community, even though healthcare is more affordable than it's ever been with the Affordable Care Act and with Obamacare, y'all still don't have health insurance. Meaning you go to the hospital, you get shot, something happens, whatever. You got $50,000 in medical bills that you never pay. The hospital's got to pay their nurses. They got to pay the CNAs. They got to pay the surgeon. They got to pay the anesthesiologist. They got to pay the physical therapist. They got to pay all those people, but y'all don't pay. And so the hospital's like, yo, we cannot sustain this. We cannot provide free health care. That's why they close. So maybe which comes first, the chicken or the egg? You know, racism and all this other stuff. That's why the hospital wants to close. Or a disproportionate number of minorities do not have health insurance. They run up huge medical bills, or we don't get regular checkups. And so when we do go to the hospital, we're stage 4, right? And so the treatment that we need is going to be dramatically more expensive, and we can't pay it, or we don't prioritize paying our medical bills, or we don't financially prioritize our health. The hospital can't take care of all of us for free. Get some insurance. Trust me, it's worth it. If you have a medical procedure that might cost $47,000, $38,000, $2,215, and you pay a little $400 a month for health insurance, you're better off paying the $400 a month for health insurance and having $500 come out of pocket instead of being in debt for the rest of your life. And when a bunch of uninsured people need hospital services and medical care, and you can't pay it, I mean, the hospital takes a loss. And how many losses do you think that they are going to take because we don't want to get health insurance, or we can't afford it, or whatever the case may be? The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Truth Nation, just press play. Your favorite award-winning 101.7 The Truth shows are now streaming live on video. Watch us live on 101.7 The Truth's Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and of course, 1017thetruth.com. Just press play for the home of Milwaukee Black Talk, 101.7 The Truth.
This is Dr. Ken Harris from Truth in the Afternoon. Listen to The Truth all day, every day by downloading the Truth app or streaming on Spotify, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Stitcher. Milwaukee Black Talk, 101.7 The Truth.
We dropped our bags, grabbed a coffee, and headed straight for the shops where I found these amazing souvenirs. Then we chatted with the locals who pointed us towards this fantastic bistro for lunch.
Wow, your vacation sounds amazing.
Oh, that was just our trip through the terminal. Our flight to Cabo is boarding now. Bon voyage!
With super convenient parking and low fares on nonstops nationwide, flying from the Milwaukee airport makes traveling so easy. It's like starting your vacation early. Fly easy, fly MKE.
Your first night camping alone. The new tent, fully set up. Your bug spray, barely keeping up. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free overdraft protection transfers. So when you bought all those supplies and lost track of your spending, we had you covered. You got this with free overdraft protection transfers from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Families in the 53206 zip code join Milwaukee Public Schools for their Our Lights Are On Community Open House and Job Fair on Wednesday, April 19th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Douglas Middle School, located at 3620 North 18th Street. Meet community partners, apply for jobs, and enroll your child for the fall of 2023. There will also be free hot dog and chips for every attendee. Sign up today by registering at 53206april2023.eventbrite.com.
Did you know half of all cats in the United States don't see a vet on a regular basis? Hi, I'm Kat Dennings and I love cats. Like really, really love them, seriously. That's why I'm here to ask you to take your cat to the vet each and every year. I'm working with Royal Canin and Orphan Kitten Club in their program Mighty Cat, the first grant program in the world to protect and care for newborn kittens. For the Take Your Cat to the Vet initiative, which encourages cat owners across the country to schedule annual vet visits. Since it's tricky to decode our cat's behavior, it is super important to collaborate with your veterinarian to uncover any potential illnesses and learn the signs that something could be wrong. As pet owners, it is our responsibility to make sure cats of all ages have a chance to live a full and happy life by providing the care they need and deserve. Visit orphankittenclub.org/mightycat to learn more.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, locations are all set and it's time to clean up our city. The Truth Team on Saturday, April 29th, for our Tory Low community cleanup. Go to truthcommunitycleanup.com to volunteer to help keep Milwaukee clean. Everyone who joins gets a free Truth t-shirt and lunch provided by the St. Anne Center. Register today and bring the whole family to clean up our city by visiting truthcommunitycleanup.com. The Truth Community Cleanup is sponsored by St. Anne Center, the best intergenerational care in Milwaukee. And I got a celebrity in studio with me. Y'all ain't gonna believe who joined me. He flew in on his private jet. Then he had to take his helicopter here to Good Karma Branch. Tory Lowe is in the studio.
Hey, Truth
Welcome.
Nation.
What's going on, man?
How you doing, Sherwin? Hey,
good.
I appreciate being on the platform today.
Well, I appreciate having you. See, we don't see each other every day no more.
No, we don't.
I got a new time. They moved me and put
We
Melanie
used to meet in passing.
We did. Now they put Melanie between us.
Right.
Always getting in the way, Melanie Ricks.
Always a woman getting in between the buds.
See, I didn't need you to say that.
I'm just messing with you.
No, you're not. You meant it. Let's talk about the Truth Community Cleanup. I want to know when this started, because this has been something you've been involved with and passionate about for many, many years, cleaning up our city.
Right. Well, I started a long time ago. I was in Iowa and Minnesota for like a long time, like 11, 12 years. So my 30s, all of my 20s and early 30s was out there in Iowa and Minnesota. So I came home and the first thing I noticed was just, it was trash everywhere. That was the first like visual thing you could see. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to clean it up, because out in Iowa and Minnesota, it wasn't looking like that. So I was like, well, you know what? Let me start getting some of this paper off the ground. And it started innocent. It was like, it just looked like a trash can where, on the block. So I was like, okay, this is a simple fix. Let me clean it up. And I noticed that when I was starting to clean up, that people wouldn't trust that I was cleaning up. I would knock on people's doors and be like, hey, I'm here to clean up. And they'd be like, what you want? What you getting out of this? I'm like, whoa, like it was a lot of mistrust. I started running in and seeing that people didn't even, trust me to clean up their yard. I'm like, whoa, like this is what kind of problem do Milwaukee got? So I said, no, don't worry about it. I'm just want to clean up. I started saying it's Urban Cleanup Day.
You just made up a day.
I just made up a day, like because it was weird. Like, and I'm in the hood. I'm on the block. This ain't no suburbs. We on it. We in the neighborhoods. So. From there, I noticed that once I started saying it was Urban Cleanup Days, they was like more apt to get involved, and then the children would come out, and then we would sit back and get the corner stores to give the kids some soda and chips and things like that. And so 13 years later, I do it every year. I try to keep it up.
It's extremely important, because how a neighborhood looks can determine how people feel. Like, I drive around different neighborhoods in the city of Milwaukee, and certain neighborhoods are pristine. They've never had any garbage on the ground.
Right.
And it's like driving through there, you feel some kind of way. Like, you feel the prestige of that neighborhood that's very, very clean. You go into other neighborhoods in the city and you see literally trash everywhere. It like kind of depresses you, right? And if it does that to me just riding through, imagine the people that see it every single day. They begin to think that
it
it's
weighs
normal.
on the conscience. And I tell you, some people have never seen their block clean. When people talk about making change, soon as you clean up one of those neighborhoods and the kids come out and see that neighborhood completely clean, they sit there and just be like, wow. And then it installs a sense of pride in them that day, because it's like cleaning up your house. You don't want nobody to mess it up right away. You clean the block, you install a sense of pride, and then if they did it themselves, they're not going to want anybody to mess that up. So I think that this was the lessons that I feel like we're teaching each other. It's more than picking up trash. It's the easiest way to bond with people and get to know people without having any strings attached, having any kind of agenda. Most people come around, they're asking, they doing something, they got an agenda. It ain't no agenda in picking up trash. It's just,
that should be the agenda
right,
itself. Just wanting the neighborhood to look better.
Just wanting the neighborhood to look better. And I think that, to me, this is the easiest way to make a connection with the people.
So tell us how it works. People go to truthcommunitycleanup.com. They can, on the website, they can recommend neighborhoods or blocks or addresses that they want to see clean. And then what happens after that?
Well, once we get the people that we want to get their neighborhoods, because you gotta sign up your neighborhood. So we'll pick a group of people and we'll say, hey, okay, these are the neighborhoods we're going to clean. We have went out and met the ones that we're going to be working with this year. Great people, great group of people. And now it's time to volunteer. So if you want to volunteer and help clean up these neighborhoods and help the Truth family, you got to go to truthcommunitycleanup.com and register your family to help us clean up. And if you do come out, you get a T-shirt, you get a Truth Community Cleanup T-shirt, and you get lunch sponsored by St. Anne Center.
The best intergenerational care of Milwaukee,
right.
Tory Lowe. Do you find that like other groups, agencies, organizations, nonprofits, do they come out and join you as well? Because I know that everybody, they do their own like independent cleanups. Do you find that with yours that more people gravitate toward a different organization?
I think a different, last year when we were doing Atkinson, it was a community group that was out there at Atkinson. I think that more community groups should come together because we should have it done all at the same time. That way we can teach everything and everything can be done to where we have a massive amount of people operating on one accord. So I think we still got a little bit of work to do to try to get everybody to kind of do certain things at the same time. But, it's like spring cleaning. We're just cleaning up the block. It's simple. And we're having a great time doing it. Also, it teaches the children in the neighborhood that we can come together and make immediate change in the neighborhood, and let's see what else we can do, what other changes we can make.
Do you have your neighborhoods designated? Can I get my neighborhood on there, Tory Lowe? Is that a conflict of interest?
The registry has been already closed.
I want Maya to come and pick up garbage in front of my house.
Oh, no.
No?
I don't think that's the objective, but I think that if you would have signed up, Sherwin, I think and I don't even think where you live is any trash. Hold on, wait a minute. Hey,
you know where I live?
Take a picture.
We ain't gonna say it on the air.
Right,
I don't
we
need
not
no
gonna
damn
do that.
visitors.
Right. But what I'm saying is, we try to get to the communities that have issues, with garbage. But at the same time, let's say somebody got an abandoned house and somebody's dumping trash back there. Okay, well then we contact the alderman. It's more than that. It's just trying to get together and work. And then let's say it's a family that help us clean up, but they have issues like they need coats or things like that. Well, we start connecting them with resources and stuff like that.
That's the good part.
It's a way to get together and work together and show that we can help each other without all of the politics involved.
It might even be a good idea because you guys are doing the alders a favor when you clean up neighborhoods, because I guarantee it's been residents, it's been calling them offices, and those alders may have been unresponsive. So you all are doing a great favor for those alders because they might get elected or reelected based upon how the neighborhoods that they represent actually look. You should call them alders. They ain't going to show up, but at least you can say, hey, we called your alder,
They need
man.
to get out and
alder.
bring their families out.
That's what they should probably be
But
doing.
I don't want it to turn into a publicity stunt.
I would probably turn it into that, but you're right. You don't want it to.
I don't want it to be.
It's genuine.
I definitely want it to be something that's grassroots and that people can actually look at each other and be like, okay, we work together to do this. It's just a small step. And then let's say something else happened in the neighborhood where those group of people have already worked together on something. Now they can work together on something else. It's a start.
The Truth Community Cleanup, Tory Lowe, collaboration with The Truth and other community groups to clean up our city. We see it every single winter, Tory Lowe. It's like people throw garbage in the snow heap, right? And the snow comes and covers it up. They think that garbage disappears with the snow because there's certain neighborhoods and certain boulevards where it's offensive how people just throw stuff in the snow melts and all that garbage is there. So this is the spring cleaning for Milwaukee, and hopefully it'll make our neighborhoods look better, and the people that live in those neighborhoods will feel better about living there.
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
There it is. Tory Lowe.
Evil cannot fester in the clean community, and the community that works together stays together.
There it is.
Hey,
we got to get you back on here so we can talk about other stuff.
Hey, I love it. I mean, when you was doing radio outside the truth, we used to talk on the radio. You were one of the first people that gave me an opportunity to talk on the radio.
Yeah, you almost got me canceled, Tori. Oh, what you mean I can't say that?
Hey,
you don't say that stuff on your show, do
I
you?
was a little pup. back then. I mean, you got to realize I just came home. I had several police killings on my hands and the illegal strip search situation.
That's what we were talking about.
We were talking about the illegal strip search situation, and I was traumatized. Because I didn't think it was true. I didn't believe that officers was actually doing that to people. So when I got on your show, I was still traumatized.
And then what's crazy is, so those brothers, they got a settlement from the city.
I organized it.
But the city, like, if they owed like child support or back taxes, the city took their settlement money.
And this is where I learned that all lawyers in the city is not, that some lawyers have allegiance to the city. I didn't know that. It took 5 years for me to figure that out along my way. So now, you know, I worked my way around it, but I you know, you learn along the way.
Yeah, you do.
You learn stuff. And at first you think everybody's, you know, in it together, and then you get to the end and be like 5 years later, 3 years later, and you see the outcome, and now you got to make the adjustment. So over 13 years, I've made a lot of adjustments.
Tori Lowe Show can be heard from 1 until 4 p.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth, and that is Monday through Friday with replays on the weekends and in the evenings. Tori Lowe, it's always a pleasure. And by the way, Tori Lowe, his last name is pronounced Vagnini. That's how
We're not going to go down that slippery slope, but I think he's out now.
Yeah, he only did 24 months.
Right.
And did not have to register as a sex offender. Amazing. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
Hey, thanks.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. This is your Financial Empowerment Minute on the new 101.7 The Truth, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
The other thing that we should be thinking about is diversifying and getting money outside of your business. And so when we think about that, starting small, a Roth IRA is an easy account that you can open on your own. You can open with an advisor, and you can contribute up to $6,000 a year into a Roth IRA. And then if you're over 50, you can contribute $7,000 a year into that. If you want to contribute more money, you can open a SEP IRA. And these are good if you don't have any employees, right? If it's just you, the contribution limits are higher. And then if you start to have employees, then you can think about starting with a 401k. All of these options are going to be based on your situation and how much money that you're bringing in, but there's still a lot of different options out there that can accommodate you in your situation where you are.
Tune into The Truth every month for our financial empowerment interviews with Northwestern Mutual.
We Energies want you to keep this important safety message in mind. Before you start digging, planting, or landscaping on your property, call 811 to have underground utilities marked. Calling 811 at least 3 business days before you plan to dig will help you know what's below and can prevent a hazardous situation. Our representatives will mark the underground utilities on your property for free. So remember, stay safe and call before you dig.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Meals from those years are hard to forget. It was all white bread and whole milk, hamburger casseroles and quiche Lorraines, all with a side of cigarettes. We ate salads as desserts. We knew a party was classy if it had a cheese log. And we never missed an after-dinner smoke. It didn't matter if we were in our dining rooms, a burger joint, or the ritziest of restaurants. There'd be an ashtray on every table, and that very particular flavor in every meal. We smoked for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's amazing that our food could taste like anything else. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now. Surviving lung cancer starts with a scan. Learn more at screenyourlungs.org. This PSA was made possible by industry funding and guidance from lung cancer patient groups.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Always a pleasure to talk to my colleague, Tori Lowe. The trial for a Shorewood attorney accused of spitting on a protester began Monday morning. Prosecutors say Stephanie Rapkin spat on a teenager in 2020. She says she was acting in self-defense, which to me, and I'm not a lawyer, but I do play one on the radio, is the worst defense that she ever could have thought of. So, protests, imagine this, it was probably June of 2020, a protesting police violence after the murder of George Floyd was going down East North Avenue. Do you know what this woman did? Got out of her car on North Avenue. She was just driving along. She got so angered by the protesters who weren't even in the street. They were on the sidewalk. She gets out of her vehicle, leaves her vehicle on North Avenue, goes up to the protesters, and spits on a 17-year-old child. And she calls that self-defense when she was the aggressor. And I hope the court sees it the way the rest of us do. You know what she had to do? This is all she had to do. She only had to do one thing. She didn't do it. She only had to do one thing. Keep going. Stay in your car. Just drive past. They were on the sidewalk. She was in her vehicle on the street. She gets out the vehicles. I was just incensed by this. A lot of stuff made me very angry that spring and that summer, but this one has to take the cake. So I worked with another attorney, and we filed a petition to the Wisconsin State Supreme Court to get her disbarred, which I come to find out is very, very hard to do. And it typically will work when a lawyer has been convicted of something. At this point, she had just been charged. I don't even know if she'd been charged yet. She was arrested. Yeah, she was charged. And we tried to get her disbarred. But the losses that she took, because she's a lawyer herself, and she's like an estate planning lawyer, like after that incident, you should have seen the reviews that people were leaving. Now, some people, of course, went very far and went too far, as they often do, and they probably threatened her and all that other stuff. But she paid an incredible price, and all she had to do was keep going. They weren't in the street. They weren't impeding her getting to where she was going. She decided she wanted to get out of her vehicle and spit on somebody. Let me be clear. Spitting, I don't even know why it's a misdemeanor in this case. Spitting somebody is felony assault. You understand that? That there's a man, look it up if you don't believe me, there's a man in Texas. Guess what he just got for spitting on somebody? Now, he spit on a cop. Guess how many years he got for spitting on a cop? 70 years. He got life in prison for spitting on a cop. Now, this woman is only facing some kind of misdemeanor charge, which I think that's too low of a charge considering how, like, spitting on somebody it's assaultive, it's vile. Human spit is a biohazard, right? She could have had the COVID. How you going to spit on somebody during the COVID? Your spit could be a deadly weapon back in the COVID days. And apparently y'all are still getting COVID, which makes no sense to me. Some of y'all still got COVID. Mike from Mill Road says, you on Hall of Fame mode today. Oh, thanks, Mike. I am being honored by my high school on Friday. My plaque is going to be affixed to the Wall of Fame, or the Wall of Inspiration, they call it at Browndale High School, which that's a bittersweet moment for me, y'all, because I wasn't even supposed to graduate from Browndale High School. A whole bunch of my teachers just knew I would be back after my senior year, but they never thought I would be back like this. I'll be very, very happy to accept that award, that honor from my high school. Good old Browndale High School. 414460 says, when someone tailgates you, just put on your hazards and watch them move around. Or I would rather them not tailgate me. It is probably my biggest pet peeve, because to me, that's still reckless driving. And if I'm in the vehicle with you and you're following somebody too close, I'm going to say something. Because it's just, like, I hate it. My girlfriend does that mess. I hate it. I get mad because I'm like, yo, if they slam on their brakes, let's say they spill coffee in their lap. Now we gonna rear end these people. And I don't know if y'all have ever been rear-ended before, or if you rear end somebody, you're losing that case. You're gonna get sued to high heaven. It really isn't worth it. Some of y'all drive like you've never been in an accident before. Getting in a car accident, it's mourning a death. Like, it's bad, especially if your car is undrivable. Then you got to get the vehicle towed. Then you got to get all the estimates. Oh, and then your insurance is going to go up. It's not worth it. It's so much easier and more cost effective just to drive cautiously. Why are y'all in such a hurry? Why you got to? How y'all going to be in a hurry and speeding to a job that you hate? Boy, I hate this job. Let me hurry up and get there so I can hate it for more hours of the day. Just, can you leave a little earlier, please? Can y'all set your alarm 10 minutes earlier? Unless you're those people that hit the damn snooze button. Don't hit the snooze button. Rhea, are you a snooze button hitter?
Absolutely.
How many times do you hit the snooze button?
I mean, today I hit it at least 5 times.
You-wee. Okay, so you hit the snooze button 5 times. What does that give you? An extra, 15, 20 minutes worth of sleep?
It gave me an extra 45 minutes of sleep today.
45 minutes of sleep? Maybe set the alarm for 45 minutes later and just get your ass up. No? That's too much? Or do you need to wake up slowly?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out right now.
Do you stay out late and party? Do you do cocaine and drink a lot of alcohol? And
I definitely do not, no. Okay. But I do have late hours from like rehearsals. And
that's right.
I'm just a night owl anyways.
Okay. Understood. So what you're saying is not a lot of cocaine.
No, Sherwin.
Okay, I'm not judging you. Do whatever you want to do. Mr. Mahdi says, oh, this is going to be priceless. I love when he texts. Happy Wednesday, Mr. Hughes. Happy Wednesday, Mr. Mahdi. Then Mahdi says, he needs the death penalty shooting people for pulling up your driveway. Crazy, Mahdi. Then he says, other countries will give us the death penalty. Mahdi. Then he says, Africans don't like no Americans with they scamming A. It's probably supposed to be scamming asses. Ha ha, ha ha, Mahdi. Then he says, don't get into with contractors, my brother. We are heavily armed. We have to be at our job sites. And then in a separate text message, he says, Mahdi. Craig says, where do I sign up to help clean up? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Just go to truthcommunitycleanup.com. Here, I'll even type it in for you. Let me see. Truthcommunitycleanup.com. And send. There you go. You know what I should have did? I should have signed up anonymously and then have my colleagues come clean up my damn yard. Be looking out the window like, ha ha, suckers. Clean it up. You missed a spot. Wait a minute. Is that Sherwin? Shut up. Clean up my house. Come inside and get these floors too. Carrie, you can dust. Kyle, you can do the windows. 414236 says, how do I get hook up with cleaning up the neighborhood? Look, we've been doing this promotion for like a month. Here, I'll copy from the other person. Truthcommunitycleanup.com. So you put your phone number here. We ain't going to call you. Just go to truthcommunitycleanup.com and whatever it says on that website, just do it. Just do that stuff. Sherman Williams says, oh my God, look at that alley. That's disgusting. Oh, look at all this garbage. That's disgusting. He just sent it. This is an abandoned car. Look at that. Another one. Sherman, where are these pictures? Where were they taken? And then Sherman says, Tori, I'm always with you on the cleanup thing. We need, once it's cleaned up, for people to keep it clean. And this person sent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8 or 9 pictures of just disgusting amounts of litter. Like that's like there's people that literally are just putting garbage right next to the trash bins. They can't even put it in the trash bin. That's no pride whatsoever. People should get fined for not picking it up, for not putting it down. It's a damn shame that we as blacks have come to accept trash neighborhoods as a way of life. I firmly believe that how somebody's property looks on the outside and the lack of care that they take and the lack of pride they have, that's how they feel on the inside. And they want their surroundings, like the visual impact of their surroundings, to match how they feel on the inside. I've always justified it that way. If people are sad, angry, mad, and depressed, they feel messy. You feel messy. And sometimes their houses are messy, their cars are very messy, because that is a representation of how you actually feel. Now, I know this about myself. I love a clean house. Psychologically, it's like a weight has been lifted. So here's the one thing that I do whenever I go out of town. Because traveling, even though the destination can be fun, sometimes traveling can be like really super stressful, and you didn't sleep in your own bed, and it's all this, other stuff that goes in with traveling. I have to come home to a clean house. So a good portion of my preparation to go out of town for an extended period of time is cleaning my house from top to bottom, because there's this sense of peace and calm that I get when my crib is clean. I just love a clean house. I like the way it smells. I just like the way it looks. A messy house is psychologically damaging to people inside and or outside. Make sure you keep that kitchen clean too. I can't eat at some of y'all houses. I can't do it. I can't. You take pictures of your food, you put it on Facebook. I'm like, that meal looks delicious. Too bad I'll never go to their house to eat it. I don't want to bring this up because y'all might think it's racial. But so there was this white lady, right? Taking a picture of this. She had a food spread, many different foods. She had a how you say it? Charcuterie. She had one of them. And she had all the little spread out. She had little sandwiches. She had all the stuff on she had an island in her kitchen, you see. And she put it on the social media. She's like, hey, everybody, look at my spread. And as I'm looking closer, guess what the hell I saw walking between the trays of food? A damn cat. Oh my God. And so here's what I did. I saved the picture and I put it on social media. All right. And I didn't say anything. I didn't caption the picture. No, it's food all over the place. It's a what it is now? Charcuterie?
Charcuterie.
There you go. One of them. And all sorts of little snacks and hors d'oeuvres and little sandwiches and stuff. And so I took that picture and I put it on my social media. And all the white people, oh my God, it looks delicious. What a nice spread. Oh, I want to come over to your house. All the black people. Yuck, nasty. It's a cat. Why you got a cat by the food? It's a cat. It's a cat. Why you got the cat? It's going to be cat hair in the food. The cat probably eating the food. The cat probably went pee on the food. I don't want to say it's a cultural thing, but the black folks are not eating at a house where your animals help themselves to surfaces where people eat food. The truth, because that's what the hell that is, with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune in to the new 1017 The Truth Business Spotlight this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. between The Tory Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. We will be speaking with Ashley Lucas, VP and Business Lending Product Manager at Associated Bank, who will discuss why you should consider opening a business checking account for your small business through Associated Bank. Again, that is the Business Spotlight with Associated Bank this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. on the new 1017 The Truth.
Your first date? Going well. The carnival? Cash only. But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you, with access to over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs. So when you decide to win that giant stuffed purple raccoon at $5 a throw, we're looking out for you. No matter how many throws it takes. You've got this. With 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Sherwin Hughes with his truth.
When surveyed, people who live in metro areas are concerned about one thing and almost one thing exclusively, and that's crime. Since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have been concerned with violent crime. Teaming that up with warmer temperatures as summer approaches, the concerns are very real. Typically, violent crime is something that we associate with neighborhoods. But when violent crime hits downtown, its effects seem to be particularly pervasive. These are gathering places for social interaction. We want those places to be distinctly crime-free. Not to mention, when a criminal activity takes place in neighborhoods, it may not make the news, but if something happens downtown, then it will make the news every single night, therefore increasing the perception that violence downtown is actually on the uptick, when in fact, it is being reduced. Now, there are less people downtown because offices are not renewing their leases, and there's less white-collar workers that are going to work downtown every single day, which makes it seem like the prevalence of things like homelessness is actually on the increase when it is not. There's just less people downtown, making such prevalence even more apparent. To get crime under control, we have to be much more proactive, which it seems our Wisconsin legislature does not want to be. If we are able to make the necessary investments led by the people in the city of Milwaukee, we can make crime decrease in every single measurable category. Unfortunately, lock them up and throw away the key is not the way to go. We saw this with the 1994 crime bill, and lo and behold, 20 years later, we saw how incredibly and intensely racist that piece of legislation was. Because we're all very concerned about crime, let's not repeat the mistakes of the past and lock people up and throw away the key and think that is going to be the answer that we're all seeking.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
"1017 The Truth's Sherwin Hughes for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying rent to a landlord when you should be paying yourself? It's time for you to start on your path toward owning your own home. In fact, the average that someone is paying for their mortgage when they work with Axe Housing is only about $800 a month. And no matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing will have a coach on staff that can assist you today. In fact, an Axe coach will help you create a plan and a budget, and on average, they can get you additional money for down payment assistance. So if you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you should be. You can get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on the Truth link at axhousing.org. That's ACTShousing.org. Don't let where you are financially today get in your way of your bright future of being a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help. That's axhousing.org. And lastly, Axe Housing is in need of general contractors to work on homes. Get in touch with Axe today if you're a contractor, as they need 100 additional contractors by the end of 2023. Let's read some of these text messages at 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. C-Note says, yeah, people just throw garbage while driving. While driving by, I truly dislike that. Some cities have $1,500 fines or more for littering. Milwaukee needs a damn $3,000 fine. There was a radio host, well, they're still alive, they're not dead. And when the city was proposing this ordinance of these really heavy fines for littering, because y'all, it's disgusting. It drops our property value. Like when you litter, you're messing with somebody's investment. This is a very big deal. And so they were proposing, I think it was going to be a progressive fine. I don't know, start at $50 and then $250 and whatever, which I think is fair. And so there was a radio host that was like against it because, oh, that's not fair. It's kids and the kids can't afford to pay those tickets. Then the kids are going to get in trouble. Let them get in trouble. You'll learn a lesson. No, it's not fair for poor people. If you're poor, you can't afford to litter, right? Am I saying something like, okay, then littering is for rich people then? Because if you can pay the fine, the $1,500 fine or whatever it's going to be, litter all you want to, you're going to bring more money into the city. But it's a public nuisance, and in some cases, it's a health problem. I'm all for it, and I wish the city would bring that back. In fact, if any members of the council want to reintroduce the litter ordinance, come on my show. I'll help you promote it till I'm blue in the face, even though I can't turn blue in the face. 414-488 says, hi, Sherwin. Hey, Tori, I'm super excited to participate with the community cleanup. It was wonderful meeting you last week, Tori. See you soon. Have a great day, guys. Mr. Matthews says, a black man down south was just sentenced to 70 years for spitting on a police officer. You are correct, Mr. Matthews, and I talked about that a little while ago, talking about Stephanie Rapkin, the woman that spit on a George Floyd protester, a 17-year-old boy. Her trial started on Monday. Brian says, what happened to the child? He should sue for $150 zillion. Oh, talking about the kid that was spit on. And then Brian says, Winky is right. I was T-boned 11/15/2022. They tried to take me all the way to Freighter. The nurse revived me on scene, demanded they take me to St. Joe's. Oh, Brian, so this explains a lot. You died and came back. That explains why you're a flat earther. Okay, now it makes, and I'm sorry, Brian, if I'm sometimes a little mean to you. You called me obtuse. Oh, Brian, well, then I'm not sorry. Winky is right. When I was T-boned, 11/15/22, they tried to take me all the way to Freighter. The nurse revived me on scene, demanded they take me to St. Joe. Wow, Brian, what was dying like? When you came back, were you a Trumper before you died, or did that happen after you died? Is it what they say? You see the light at the end of the tunnel or something? You see a light, and then you walk into the light, and then you're greeted by other dead people. So, you know, the near-death experiences that people have had, I'm fascinated by those because they all say the similar thing. Like, does that really happen? Or is it a self-fulfilling prophecy? Like, oh, I felt a light. Or they'll be in, like, the operating room table, and they'll see, like, their soul will lift up out of their body, and they'll look back, and then they'll see their body. Because this is when they flatline. People always say the same thing. And then when they get revived, their soul gets sucked back down in their body, and they're back on the operating table again. And then some people that are like super dead, like they like start their path toward the afterlife, and they see like all the ancestors, and they see their grandma and their third grade teacher. Like, oh, hello, welcome. They talk about feeling surrounded by love. 414-236 says, I want to help clean up. Text me how? Bald dog. Really? That's what. First of all, don't laugh, Rhea. You laugh at me. 414-708 said, that's from a long time. Oh, they must be listening on a delay. The kind of men that drive BMWs fall into one of two categories. I said this earlier, either Massengill or Summer's Eve. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.
Never miss a moment of The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on the new 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming on Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcast, and Apple Podcast.
Truth Nation, just press play. Your favorite award-winning 1017 The Truth shows are now streaming live on video. Watch us live on 1017 The Truth's Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and of course, 1017thetruth.com. Just press play for the home of Milwaukee Black Talk. 1017 The Truth.
April is Financial Literacy Month, and The Truth has you covered on learning about how you can best manage your finances. Every Wednesday this month at 8 a.m. on Truth Be Told with Denise Thomas and Telly Hughes, a representative from Educators Credit Union will join to discuss financial strategies and ways to create financial freedom for yourself. So tune in to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly every Wednesday this month for a lesson in financial literacy. Sponsored by Educators Credit Union, achieving more together.
Are you looking for an opportunity to better the Milwaukee community? Do you want to develop your skills for a career or job? City Year Milwaukee is recruiting for its 14th cohort of AmeriCorps members. We are hiring young adults ages 18 to 25 to serve our amazing scholars in Milwaukee Public Schools. This opportunity allows you to serve your community and gain professional development, which will allow you to enter the workforce, your next educational journey, or even stay with us for a second year of service. Visit cityyear.org to connect with our local recruiters and learn how